Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to a very special occasion, purely for your entertainment tonight. We are your hosts, Lionheart, Mike Nikos, and I'm here with
the Executioner, Michael X.
And welcome to
Open Mic Night.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Open Mic Night. We are your hosts, Lionheart, Mike Nikos, here with
your local drug dealer. Oh, I mean Michael X. Whoops. I'm sorry. I'm getting my professions mixed up here.
Oh, damn.
Only the police coming for me. Can't let them cops come for me.
No, but yeah, we're going to be discussing something a little bit different here. Sorry for the creepy intro. It's kind of late and, the brain does funny things.
Well, this is a perfect podcast for this type of occasion.
So, let's begin.
The aesthetic style of just guys just speaking real close to the microphone and just soothe your way while you're driving. Next thing you know, you just sleep it off and you're waking up on the road.
You want me to throw some ASMR in there?
Hey, whatever helps the driver sleep at night.
So, you come here often? I like his shoes.
Oh my god.
So, speaking of creepiness, does anybody else find Todd Howard really fucking creepy? Or is that just me? Am I one of the very few that finds Todd Howard somewhat creepy?
Well, you got me, I guess.
I mean, yeah. Nothing against the dude, but he totally looks like somebody's idea of a 1920s villain.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know much about the dude, but based from what I've heard, he was just kind of a little not my preference.
It's time to give you some history. So, Todd Howard, ladies and gentlemen, if you do not know, is one of the primary benefactors of Bethesda Studios. And when he was a wee lad starting to make his way into the gaming industry, he worked on a little title for Bethesda called Terminator. Oh, yes, it's that Terminator.
Oh, boy.
Specifically, if I remember correctly, one of them is Skynet, which is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And the weird part is, for its time in 1995, it was one of the first games to do something crazy. In 95, it's the first-person shooter with a first-person driving/flight mechanic. Now, just to let you know, 1995, a year before Quake comes out, and it's full 3D, which is crazy. The game is in pretty much full 3D, except for besides the main character who is sprite-based. But everything else is in 3D, which is mind-blowing for the time. So that begs the question, where the fuck's that Todd Howard? With innovation and all these crazy-ass ideas that would never work?
Good question.
Well, to answer that, he realized that there's this thing called DLC and microtransactions. And he really likes that type of money. Because it's quick, it's funny, and it makes him lots of money.
Understandable.
So Todd Howard, ladies and gentlemen, as we've said before, is one of the primary faces of Bethesda Studios. And it has been like that since, fucking Morrowind? Maybe Oblivion?
I believe so, yeah.
He's been the guy of Bethesda forever.
Mm-hmm. it's quite a impressive, like, long standing there. But with game wising, there are some games like under his belt that show improvements, and others that kind of lack in certain areas. That is what we talked about with the whole, Terminator games and some other games that he has been a part of, which they have, I guess you could say, shown some areas where we can actually see the game in depth, but there's not really a whole much weight to it that is substantial enough for us to view it like as groundbreaking enough to be his like a greater achievement for Bethesda. In fact, I feel like Bethesda is like the only gaming company that they can make a good game once or twice a year, but when they're trying to sit down, trying to create a new genre style of gaming, they just kind of shut down for a bit and trying to rework for an older game, and they just say, "Oh well, our new game for next generation or next gen is some old game that we made years ago, but that's already been covered."
Okay, let's fucking stop beating around the bush. I am personally tired of the 15 billion versions of Skyrim that exist right now.
Yeah.
As we said on the Indie Force, and I'll say it again, you only have to buy one version of GTA 5, and you'll have that version of GTA 5.
True. And they are milking that game like a dead cow.
But you know what? I would rather see them milk a game that is already on consoles, and they just have to release that version of the game because the online mode will be fine. Because they're doing it for the online mode. I'll be 100% honest. That's why they're keeping that alive as much as possible. Because GTA 5 is a very good game. Mm-hmm. The differentiation is, and as I said before, or prior on the Indie Force, it isn't the same game. How many years did they milk GTA 4?
Oh, man. Probably say a couple years, maybe 2, 3, or
that's what they do though. They don't really. I wouldn't say they really milk a game. They just keep it around.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the big differentiation: is that Rockstar, you will get a good product from. Their worst game is still better than the worst game in Bethesda's library, which is. Sure. Fallout 76, which I know a lot of people are going to sit there and say, "Oh, you're beating that dead horse again." Hear me out. I'm not going to keep talking about it for obvious reasons, because what's the point? But hear me out and understand from my perspective. That game was a lie. Super hard. More than any other game that they've ever made. That was the biggest stone-faced lie that they could have ever made. And I know somebody's going to sit there and say, "Are you sure about that?" So, did you know that the Fallout 76 Collector's Edition helmet can poison you?
Really?
Uh-huh. They were recalled because of a specific paint that was used that, if you inhale, could kill you. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it says they did coat their helmets in lead-based paint. Jeez. At least to all the stuff that I've been able to find on about it, because I will never spend more than $60 for a game. And if you expect me to spend more, you're out of your goddamn mind. I would rather deal with the bargain bin $10 games for the rest of my life than spend fucking $130 on a game, which are going to be like, yeah, I can buy merchandise for it, and I'd rather buy the merchandise, but I'm not going to deal with all the horse shit that goes with it.
Oh, true.
But in comparison, like in a genuine comparison, and I will defend Rockstar, even with all the bullshit and ridiculousness that company has dealt with throughout all of its years and its crazy fucking fan base that is just so specific with what they want in the games. Like if I said, "Hey, we're gonna re-release another version of San Andreas," everybody would sit there and say, "Yeah, give me another version of San Andreas."
Still not going to be as better as the original, but hey, San Andreas, it's nice.
It's San Andreas.
It's a
You can play it on your
huge
phone.
map, from what I remember.
It's a big map. Like if I said we're gonna re-release San Andreas, people would sit there and say, "Oh, that's cool." We're gonna re-release Vice City. People would say that's cool. GTA 3, where that's cool. GTA 1 and 2, people would be like, "That's a little awkward," but oh well. But at least I would rather deal with the Rockstar remastering and redoing a game, and I think honestly they should remake Grand Theft Auto 3. Because how fucking good would that game be now?
Oh yeah. To be honest, I never actually finished that game because there's some parts of the game where it's just too difficult for me to complete.
It has a very high learning curve. I will not deny that factor. It is very specific in its learning curve, but it is very good.
Yeah.
It is very, very good. So the one thing I will say, before we continue and keep going, Rockstar way of keeping your game alive may not be the greatest thing, but hey, at least they're keeping the game alive as much as they possibly can. So that way people get their money's worth. And let's be honest, they're getting their money's worth when it comes to the online mode specifically. If you just play for the story mode, completely understandable. At least the online mode's there for the people that actually care and want to do crazy fun stuff. When you get into a Bethesda game, however, which is the complete polar opposite of how you're supposed to do fucking game development, because Rockstar will hold on to a title till it's completed. And will play test and play test and play test the game till they go, this is absolutely good enough to be brought up to the main public. Where if you're in the Bethesda shoes of having other people make your fucking games now, and that cannot be denied. Because if I go in my little drawer that's right in front of me with all the games that I have in there, and let's see, where are you? Where are you? Ah, there you are. Who made our little thing of Bethesda Skyrim? Oh, it is Bethesda. Bethesda actually made the game.
Yes, that is true.
But it was also done by Scaleform and Havoc. See where I'm coming from?
Oh, absolutely.
As Casey and I have talked about in the past, and I'll say it on here so that way it is said. Bethesda will take a franchise, will take something that people love, and over time completely fuck that up somehow.
Yeah, at some point they will.
Now, Doom, one can hope that how do you fuck up Doom? Honestly, how do you fuck up Doom? That's such a simple game. That's such a simple storyline that you can make.
Absolutely.
But one can hope that they go, how about we just leave that alone? Let's just not touch it. Let's keep it in its little perfect little pocket and just leave it right there and not touch it for a while.
Milking games bone dry, especially when it comes to one specific game to be released for, I think it was console, you said, Mike? Or was it for the PC? Or no, it was the Switch, right?
Oh yeah, well, with Skyrim, it's all three.
Fair enough.
And your Alexa, too, which is even fucking stupider. So, or even more stupid, I should say, because stupider, I don't think is a word in the dictionary, unless it's Urban Dictionary, then I don't really count it, but whatever. So, in any case, in any alteration of what we're about to say, Skyrim's been released on the PlayStation 3, the Xbox 360, the Xbox One, the PS4. It's going to be released on the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, and you know it will be. Because they're just so fucking uncreative, it's not even funny.
Definitely.
Like, I know that they're releasing the new Elder Scrolls soon, and I know people are like, oh, that's going to be really exciting and fun, and I sit there and I go, so, when are they going to release Skyrim again? Because you know they're going to, because they can't stop themselves.
Like, literally how I imagine Bethesda is like, do you know that meme of the reporter asking questions to the little kid who's trying so hard not to cry, and he ends up crying? That's how I imagine Bethesda. Every time they, like at either E3 or some other gaming event, when reporters ask them, so, are you going to release a new game? And Bethesda's like, well, yes, but actually, no. We're going to be re-releasing Skyrim for the upteenth time.
I've never heard of another game to be put on that many platforms. I mean, I don't know, is GTA 5 on the Switch?
I think so. I wouldn't know too much about the Switch since I unfortunately do not have one, but last from what I've heard of from my cousin, he most likely would have it on the Switch. If not, then I probably won't know what I'm talking about. But if it's not on the Switch yet, it's most definitely going to be. Because that's how far Rockstar is to milking the shit out of that game.
And how long is that version of how long has GTA 5 been out for? Since 2015, right? About almost 5 years?
No, it's actually been out for 2017.
Oh, so it hasn't been out that long. It's only been out for about 3 years.
Yes.
So that's not really that long if you take a look at the development cycle. I mean, yes, it's been on a whole bunch of consoles, but that's because they were near the tail end of the 360's life cycle and at the beginning of the Xbox One and the PS4's life cycle.
True.
So it's at least a little bit understandable, even though, what are you going to do more than anything else? But hey, as I said, I would rather deal with personally a development team that is well respected, well put together, and has no problems compared to being Bethesda Game Studios, who have fucking idea what they're doing anymore.
True. Like, take some companies like Square Enix, for instance, who we've stated on the last Indie Force episode, or in the next one, depending on what day you're watching it. They will be releasing new games coming later this summer, such as the new Marvel's Avengers game, which is exciting at a first glance. And since it is Marvel, it will shine to great expectations. While when we take a look at games like Bethesda, how it usually is. The same game repeated over and over again because it's trying to reprise an old generation of people who first played with Skyrim, but now it's for a different next-gen console. And we're not going to lie when we say this, people will get tired of it real quick.
People already have, dude. This game was, it's fucking old at this point.
Oh, of course.
I mean, it is not a young game anymore. I mean, I understand people are going to go, well, it got 20 different gaming awards, and it's one of the biggest games ever made. And I'll sit there and say, yeah, are you sure about that? Because Knights of the Old Republic got fucking 140 awards. Or, I'm sorry, 40 awards over the course of its 1 year when it first came out.
True.
And Halo, you know what? Actually, I got a really good example of this. I actually have on me. Let me grab it because it's a part of my old collection.
Sure, of course.
It's Halo Combat Evolved. Let's see. How many awards did Halo Combat Evolved get in its single fucking year? I mean, this was Game of the Year by so many different companies and people. Yeah, about 45 different people, at least 40 different fucking people have said the same thing about that as well. I feel like game developers now are just trying to. It's not about shipping the game out. It's more the fact of trying to talk to the fan base and say, or at least that's the one thing they don't do, is talk to the fan base and let them know how the development's going. Because people will understand if you said we just need more time to build the fucking game. Nobody's going to sit there and say, I want my new Skyrim right now. That's what's going to happen. It's going to be Skyrim 2, and I don't care. I want it right now. And I sit there and say, you don't want anything different. You just want the same game done again with an even worse combat system than Oblivion? Which Oblivion had the better combat system? And if somebody sits there and
Worse
goes,
story interaction, but better combat system for that game.
I can hold a shield, use a sword, and do magic at the same time. Yeah, that's the better combat system.
Mm-hmm.
There were more options in Oblivion than there were in Skyrim, and I think the map was just way prettier. I mean, with the right mods, anything's possible.
I feel like that is why they're trying to re-release the game. Probably for the mods, or probably what people thought of from the mods, which were paramount back in the day. When you had mods for Skyrim, people went nuts over it.
Because
Like any mod that you wish for, it's in the game.
Uh-huh. But you can do it on your console now, and it's like, it's not special anymore.
I guess
it's very impressive, but, and I won't deny Bethesda that right, that it's very impressive. But that's all it is very impressive. It's nothing else but that. It's impressive that they did it. Congratulations. Now give me something different. And I know somebody's going to say, well, they gave you Doom, they gave you Wolfenstein, they gave you all these other different games, they gave you Rage 2, and I'll sit there and say, and they were good. But they have not produced a game. Personally, they've not made a fucking game since, hell, they didn't even make 76. They had somebody else do it. And while that company was struggling, because they've never made, that's the biggest fuck up ever, by the way. It's to hire a company to make an MMORPG that's never made an MMORPG before.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, are you out of your fucking mind? That's like hiring a carpenter to be your chef. It's like, he's never been trained to do that. What are you expecting to fucking whip out?
It's literally impossible. Just that idea.
It's not impossible. It's just stupid. It's just dumbasses being dumbasses. That's what it is. In the quote of Red Foreman, why am I surrounded by so many dumbasses? It's like you have EA, you have Bethesda Game Studios, and they're just two fucking pinnacles of stupid. It's like
Obviously.
you don't develop a game like this. It's not well put together. You look like an idiot at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody is sitting there going, yeah, you know what I really wanted? I wanted another DLC pack for Skyrim. Another one.
Like, it just gets tiring over and over again, just seeing the same game with even worse type of combat, worse type of environment. I mean, for what it's worth, the game back in the day was good, but if you're just going to keep releasing the game, all right, some people will purchase this game just for nostalgia or just to keep it in stock. It's just so they can gloat around saying, oh, I have Skyrim, and I will continue having Skyrim for any type of consoles. But now, people have to look at it and realize that you're literally just buying a product that's been done over and over again, where it's just completely the same. It's literally a waste of your money. It's not worth it.
Yeah, but can't you say that about every other thing that's ever come out?
Well, true. I mean, I agree with you when I want to see something new, but when it's the same game, what's the point?
Well, Nikos, I mean, I'll put it like this. How many post-apocalyptic survival games are there?
There are a bunch. I'm not going to lie.
A shitload. There's a shitload of them, but people will still buy them. How many zombie games are there? How many games are just based upon you and your buddies are trying to survive in a zombie apocalypse? How many of those exist?
Shitload.
But they still sell like hotcakes.
Mm-hmm.
See, I think what we're looking for at the end, personally for myself and maybe for you as well, is just for Bethesda to stop making or stop pushing this one game as hard as they are and push other things that require pushing. Like, why put all that development time of, oh, we can make the Switch version of Skyrim. Why didn't you put that same development energy into Fallout 76, your RPG? Why is that same development time not put into anything else that you work on?
Like, it's just like a rather backwards process that you're doing this.
It's just nonsensical from at least my perspective of we're pushing an agenda. We need to keep pushing that agenda till we get what we want as the end result instead of smart game development.
I suppose.
I mean, I'm just hoping one day that Bethesda can sit down and maybe go, maybe we don't listen to Todd sometimes. Because he's
Yeah, that would be a good idea. I mean, Todd is just that one kid who, hypothetically, is just sitting there. Everyone is looking at him, waiting. What is this new title that you're going to come up with? And as a last-second response, all you can think of is Skyrim. Because that was our most successful game for the past how many years? So,
God,
here's a new revamped version of the game for your
since
new consoles.
It's about the midlife of the 360 / the PS3.
Exactly. I feel like it's only used just for nostalgia.
Which, I mean, to be fair, you could say that about any game. But I will say this, and I think it's an important thing. There are a lot of milestones that are in Skyrim that are impressive, but there's a lot of broken shit in that game that fucking makes it not fun.
Oh, true. I mean, environment-wise in the game, there's just a lot of shit that you can see into that you realize, oh, yeah, this
I am not supposed to be up on this mountain. I should not be jumping all the way up this mountain. I'm hopping.
Here we are.
I'm hopping, brother. But it's like, okay, I know somebody's going to sit there and say, well, what are you going to defend Skyrim for? Well, it's one of the first games ever to actually have a very, very passionate modding community as good as it does. I'm talking about some of the mods that I've seen for it are fucking impressive, including one of them taking the Skyrim engine and literally recreating the entire map of Oblivion.
That is interesting. That is really cool to see.
And Oblivion had the same thing where people are like, I want to be able to play Morrowind, but with the Oblivion engine. And they were able to do that. And people have done it with Skyrim as well with the Oblivion engine because the Oblivion combat system was super fucking good. Because, okay, that's the one thing I'm not a fan of Bethesda for, is backtracking on shit sometimes.
Oh,
like,
yeah. It's been a problem for ages.
Like, what if I told you that in the original Oblivion, you didn't have to find every single goddamn town that you came across. You just kind of you already knew where you were because you've already been there before. So what's the point of trying to discover all these locations unless it's like, hey, you have actually never been here before. You don't know where this town's located, so you might need some help trying to find it. Or, hey, here's a dungeon that you have not completed yet, but you kind of have an idea where it is, but here's the closest town that you can get to that will allow you to fast travel and then get straight to there. Oblivion had a lot of shit, and then Skyrim came along and said, well, we're not doing that anymore. Like, the thing that pisses me off is that magic is not viable in this game. It is not a viable class option.
That's a darn shame.
It is not a viable class option. And I go, dude, I love running the mage build in these games. I love running the battle mage, the basic mage. I like running the mage build because I like using bullshitly strong magic. But when you completely cut it and go, yeah, we're not doing that anymore, it's like, go fuck yourself. Let me use my crazy bullshit magic powers. I can do something that like a quarter of the population could do. Fuck off. I have the Force. Shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Let me do my bullshit stupid wizard powers that make no fucking sense.
Yeah. Hell, that was the best aspect from Oblivion. Just that stupid bullshit wizard abilities that you had the ability to do.
Dude, you could spells in Oblivion. So the thing that everybody hates from Skyrim is the lockpick system. It's not fun. Nobody likes lockpicking shit. In Oblivion, you literally could learn spells that were like, fuck it, I'm just gonna use magic anyway. I'll just unlock the door via magic, because who gives a shit? That's what made magic like super viable, because it made it fun.
Sounds easy, and
Oh yeah,
a whole lot less convoluted than just lockpicking. I think that's the biggest issue that I found. Well, I don't know if it was carried out until Fallout 4, where I don't know if they kept using the same mechanic for the lockpicking, or I'm probably thinking of something different. But
nope,
lockpicking,
Fallout, dude, all the way up to Fallout 76, that lockpick system is still in these games.
Yeah, I never liked that idea of lockpicking.
The lockpick system in Oblivion, you actually had to move the individual tumblers in the lock in a specific pattern in order for it to unlock.
That sounds easy.
That's really easy. It actually wasn't that hard to do.
Definitely.
But as soon as you go, we're dummying this shit down, it's like you made it less fun because I don't get to see what the fuck I'm doing on the inside of the lock anymore. I can't just break the lock open anymore and just do it. Like, break the lock open and just go for it. I don't care. Who gives a shit? I'm a mage. I'll just fucking break the game because of how stupidly strong magic is as an ability, which it should be. Magic shouldn't be a fucking joke of an ability. It's supposed to be stupidly strong anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking magic. It's a bullshit superpower. Such as, hey, there was an agility ability. So you know how, like, in Skyrim, you always had the problem of trying to get around? General trying to travel around the world? Not Oblivion. Oblivion, if you just jump everywhere, you'll eventually be able to jump like 15 feet in the air.
That's helpful, really.
Like, I
really hate scaling like that. I think that was the biggest problems that I had. Just having to scale it on foot. Like, I was always thinking there had to have been some easier way.
Okay, so
thankfully, at least there was.
Here's my example of this, if you don't mind me throwing this out here.
Go ahead.
Ready? And I think you'll really appreciate it more than anybody else. Let's say I'm working for the Dark Brotherhood, right? I'm a Dark Brotherhood assassin. I'm a master archer. But my stealth isn't the greatest thing ever. But if I'm at like a high altitude, I'm fine. Well,
yes.
good sir. Well, good sir. Here's the best bit about this whole thing. Let's say you're climbing up, or you're like, oh, fuck it, I gotta do this contract and I'm having a difficult time. Dude, just jump onto the fucking roof and then shoot from the roof of a neighboring house that he can't see you at, and then just shoot him in the head.
Yeah.
While throwing an invisibility magic over your head, so that way you're invisible when you do the shot. That's Oblivion. And that's why I'm like, I want to get back into Oblivion, because the game is actually like really fun. Because Oblivion had its problems, which most games do, but at least it functioned really well. And if there was like an issue with the game, you could just sit there and say, at least I have, all my crazy bullshit still.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in Skyrim, on the other hand...
Dude, skill trees, I'm not a fan of the skill tree system. It's not fun. Nobody's sitting there going, I love the skill tree system. There are a lot of improvements. I won't deny that fact that there are a lot of improvements. Horses move a lot better. You can use bows and everything else on the back of a horse a little bit more easily. There's the execution moves, which look very good as well. But that's kind of it. And it's not that interesting in comparison.
Yeah, of course.
It's like, I want stupid bullshit powers, not dumb, makes no fucking sense abilities.
Yeah, I guess they were just trying to pander in some abilities that feel more realistic, while in Oblivion, you could do whatever the hell you want without no rhyme or reason.
You want to be
what consequences?
You want to be a Khajiit that's addicted to skooma and lives in a fucking sewer outside of the city? Who's a thief? You absolutely can, because why not? You want to be an Argonian and just be like stupidly good?
There's your chance.
You can, because guess what? Argonians are like a very good class. You want to be, you could be whatever the hell you wanted. You could be a fucking two-handed sword orc who screams shit in combat, because why not? That's the stuff that you could do, and that's the stuff that everybody remembers, and that's fun. But I don't know. Skyrim, I have a lot of good memories of. I remember giving it to Lillian for for Christmas, and her eyes lit up like a fucking Christmas tree itself.
Mm-hmm.
So it's giving me that, and it's giving Lillian, so much entertainment.
Oh yeah, and by far the game is really entertaining, and you could spend hours in the game. I had a friend once in Randolph. I remember he had like hours and hours and probably weeks saved onto his Xbox of everything he traveled through in Skyrim, but right before he could get back into it, that's when his 360 had to be updated. So all that save data he had just gone. And I've never seen pure horror on a poor man's face having to realize that, like, you can grind and save a lot of time on that game. Like, when I say save a lot of time, like, you have the ability to travel many different areas for a ridiculous amount of time, and having to lose all that just instantly, it's really disheartening. Like, it's like you can't stomach it, because it's just so entertaining, because the environments in the game, they just draw you in. And before you know it, what you feel like you're spending, a good chunk, like good 15-minute chunks of time, you're actually spending close to about 12 hours of exploration.
As soon as you start dumping hours into the game, you start dumping hours into the game.
Exactly.
And I only enjoy Skyrim when it's modded and I'm able to just do whatever the hell I want with it. Because 9 times out of 10, I'll find a mod that's like, this is fun for me, and I don't give a shit. Listen, I want to be able to turn Skyrim into Star Wars, because why the fuck not? Because I want to be able to do that. And I want to be able to use Hanzo Hisashi from fucking Mortal Kombat, Scorpion, in Skyrim, and be able to do the crazy fatalities, because I want to be able to do that, such as his Toasty, which is in the game, and it's hilarious.
It's literally a game where you do anything you want with mods. It's enjoyable, and hell, it'll add another 12 plus hours to your enjoyment. But I feel like that's the only reason why people just want to get back to Skyrim. Like, again, the mods and to the memes, most of all. Like,
oh yeah, people love memeing the shit out of that game.
Like 5 out of 10, whenever I just look on social media, I'll definitely find like at least a Skyrim meme of the guy in the carriage talking to you, saying, "Oh, so you're finally awake." And I feel like, yeah, I guess you could say that's the one thing people most remember from Skyrim and not from Oblivion, which is kind of sad. I mean, I thought Oblivion was an alright game.
Are you sure about that? So you don't know about the arena fan, do you?
I probably do not. Like I said, it's been years since I played this Skyrim.
Let's just say, if you ever look at Lillian dead in the face and go, Bayazura, 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 it is you, the grand champion, she will straight up start having this big fucking smirk on her face because of how funny that is. You just have this dude who's like a wood elf who has very, very high-tip Super Saiyan long blonde hair. Oh yeah, I forgot about the Dragon Ball mods. Those are super worth it too.
Mm-hmm.
I will fly if I have to, you fuck. I will fly.
And it will be glorious.
I shall fly.
They'll call you Dragonborn for nothing.
So, anyway. Yeah, in Oblivion, there is a character that you'll meet whose name is the arena fan. And what he does is that he just follows you around, and he just goes, I cannot believe it. It is you standing here next to me. And you're like, who the fuck is this asshole? Why is he following me everywhere I go?
I feel like I've heard of him.
Oh, dude, there's some memeable shit in Oblivion. If you are, what the fuck are they called? Gamer poops? Where somebody goes in and makes fun of all the shit that's in Oblivion / in Skyrim. It's some of the funniest shit ever.
Oh yeah, true. Like I feel like that is the pinnacle of Elder Scrolls memes.
If I can make a recommendation for you, good sir, to like watch Autism Cat, which is Will Burger, who is one of the a YouTuber who's super fucking funny, by the way.
Oh god.
And him making his way, or let me be honest with what it is, shambling his way through the Oblivion world.
Mm-hmm.
And he just mods the shit out of it. Like he gives the, like he's a fucking Khajiit with like this crazy ass head proportion, and it's super funny. Like we're talking about, let me just use Astro Kitty, and yeah, let me go from there. I activate spell, flying across the entire length of the map in about a couple seconds.
Only in Oblivion where you can do that shit.
Only in Oblivion can you mod yourself in some stupid ass superpowers because the game is fucked. Oh my god, fuck off, Akuma. I'm playing Street Fighter 2, by the way. Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, and he's being a cocksucker right now. He's the last fight. He's the last fight. I got a double perfect and a super victory, and now I have to fight him, and he's being an absolute cock tease. He's worse than Shao Kahn because he's just gonna go, I don't have taunts. I don't need taunts. I'm that good.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you fucking asshole. Stop. I love Street Fighter 2. I have to put that out there. I am a huge Street Fighter nerd. If you couldn't tell by my Fatal Fury hat and my SF5 hat, I love fighting games. It's like my big passion. For God's sakes, I was thinking, I'm like, I should buy myself a hitbox, which is like a $200 fucking arcade stick, and I'm like, I should do that with my government money. With my stick. I was thinking about it. I'm like, maybe I should, because this would be fun. That way I can play with my busted ass version of Street Fighter.
Yeah. So with Skyrim.
So with that being said, with Bethesda just being who they are, the big thing that we want you to take away from this tonight is this. If you're a game developer or somebody that's very interested in making games or making projects, be passionate about what you're going to do, but don't give the fan base the same thing over. And because then they're not going to be interested anymore. I think that can be taken from any source of media, but Bethesda has kind of shown that if you do it enough, nobody is going to care about it anymore. And it's going to say, cool, I can't wait until I can play Skyrim on my cell phone. I can play Skyrim on my cell phone. I forgot about Skyrim VR, by the way, which is even funnier. Because that game,
I have seen a couple videos of Skyrim in VR. It's pretty entertaining.
Yeah, especially when all you have to do is take the base of a warhammer, put it through the body of the character, and then just kind of shake it back and forth and they'll die. Or shoot a fucking bow and arrow like a gun.
Wow. Such riveting gameplay. Such immersion. Very realistic. Why? Because it's VR? Yes. But it's Skyrim, though. I mean, in fucking Oblivion, you could literally send people to the other side of the map. And if you wanted, you could send them to the moon. Yeah, but we wanted to make it feel more realistic. It's Skyrim, dude.
Yes.
There's no realism in this.
I'm sorry. I couldn't take you seriously with the fucking high elves and the dark elves and the wood elves and the orcs and the fucking cat people. I'm sorry. Could you say that one again? We wanted to go realistic with this game. 16 times the realism of Oblivion. 16 times the amount of inventory space that you can have in Oblivion, which is complete horseshit because you can keep doing that. Oh, by the way, how do you think you level up in Oblivion?
I don't recall.
You go to sleep.
Simple.
You go to sleep. You just go to sleep, and then you're able to. So that way, you're able to have a save point of a bed, and you're able to do whatever you want. So that way, you never lose track of where you're spending your points. I swear to God, you fucking red-haired cunt, if you keep throwing fucking red fireballs at me the whole goddamn time, I'm gonna take away your EBT card.
Oh no, that's maximum damage.
Maximum damage. Put on some work boots. Yeah, he's just hitting me with red focus fireballs, and I can't do anything against him. He's just juggling me. He's juggling me in a Street Fighter game. This is horseshit. But anyway, I think we've said what we've had to say about Bethesda. I feel like if you want a good game from them, play Oblivion. It's so fucking quirky and goofy and weird that it's worth a playthrough because the story is actually relatively good, especially when you can say, I have Patrick Stewart and Sean Bean in my game.
Yeah, and what better game could you ask for by having these two iconic people in a game?
Oh, and by the way, if you want a really cool character that's totally worth it, like totally worth the time getting into it, like joining any faction, join the Dark Brotherhood, and do yourself a favor and meet Lucian LeChance, because that is one of the best voice acting characters in Oblivion. Like, bar none. That character is so fucking good, it's not even funny.
Good to know. Now, if there were, like, a new Elder Scrolls game, like, how would you imagine it? Like, based in title-wise and in gameplay-wise? Because I remember, I don't know, a while ago, I think this was like a fan-made or maybe like a prank video where someone released a new Elder Scrolls game called, I think it was Morrowind or something. Like, I don't know if that
Morrowind is the real game. That's Elder Scrolls 3.
Right. Not Morrowind. I'm sorry. I think it was titled Greyhaven or something of that caliber. But if Bethesda is trying to create like a new Elder Scrolls game, I wouldn't recycle much of the stuff just only from Skyrim. I would go beyond. I would say take stuff from the older games like Oblivion, like games that were enjoyable to play as from previous Elder Scrolls games, and create it in such a new environment that gets more new players to come in, instead of just re-releasing the same old content for old nostalgic players. It's just too much.
You're asking Bethesda to do something that they will never do.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say it, but if they didn't learn anything from fucking Fallout New Vegas, they will never learn anything else. It's like people want goofy shit. People want weird. People want fun. People don't want a melodramatic love story that nobody gives two shits about.
I guess you could say that. Or maybe they do request it, but for like a different type of game with a different narrative, where something of like Bethesda's work, well, they could go crazy. They could do what they want because they have no limits.
Nikos, did you know you could beat Skyrim in about, what is it called? In about 30 minutes? You could beat the main campaign in about maybe 3.5 to 4 hours. I say 30 minutes because it feels that. You could beat the main campaign in about 3.5 to 4 hours.
Now, could you remind me what the main campaign was? Because I'm blanking out of what actually happens.
Okay, so you go to prison, shocker.
Yep.
Only one game I know of that doesn't do that, and that's Morrowind. Morrowind's like the one goddamn game that doesn't have the whole you're in jail as the whole plot. Oh my god, Akuma, you fucking cunt. Stop throwing fireballs the whole time. That's
such realism.
So,
as soon as the game starts, I'm going to jail.
Well, yeah. Well,
Why
I mean,
again?
In Oblivion, you wake up in jail. Like, you just wake up in jail and you don't know what your crimes are. And it doesn't matter because the Emperor comes in and goes, I've seen you in my dream, and I see a future for you that is vast and open. You will be the one to save this land, and I trust in you because he's the fucking Dragonborn, and you're not going to tell him no. Oh yeah, I should probably
Yeah.
mention that. That's kind of important. You're not the Dragonborn in
Really?
Oblivion. No, you're just some random dude that got super lucky. That was in the right place at the right time and had a journey that he had to actually do, or she, depending on who you're going to be playing as. Yeah, you were just super fucking lucky at the end of the day. Like
Interesting.
if the dice roll did not hit where it hit, you would have been super duper fucked.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
would have been in jail for the rest of the goddamn game. So anyway, here's how Skyrim begins. Wake up in carriage, no goddamn reason. We don't know your reason why you are put in the scenario that you put in. And you get put on the chopping block for no goddamn reason.
Okay.
Now, just to put it in perspective, in Oblivion, you just kind of woke up in jail. You have no memory of why you're in jail, and then the Emperor comes down and goes, "I have seen you in my dream, and I see a great vision of you," and tells you to go with him and then go find his long lost son that he wanted to keep away just in case if something ever happened to him.
Yeah.
So then, all of a sudden, you're sitting there, and it literally opens with, here comes Alduin, who's the main villain, drops on top of a building, breaks you out, because that seems really fucking smart at the time.
Mm.
Also, for some reason, attacks Helgen, which is really weird. Out of all the locations this big, badass dragon could attack, it picks random-ass town that has not much going on there.
Just
And I
no
guess
significance whatsoever.
And by the way, he looks at you dead in the face and doesn't kill you once. You're the Dragonborn. You don't find that out till about less than an hour of playing the game. I wish I was making that up. By the way, yeah, you literally become Dragonborn in like very, very fucking quickly, quicker than you could possibly imagine you're Dragonborn. Like you could physically skip the first town, go straight to Whiterun, and just become Dragonborn after like 2 missions.
Intriguing.
Skip the first town, do the first dungeon, leave, go to Whiterun, and you're already Dragonborn before you could possibly imagine. You're already like completing bullshit, stupid main campaign shit before. Yeah, you'll be able to become Dragonborn in less than about 45 minutes.
And no one tells you this. You just have to find that out for yourself.
Oh no! If you talk to NPCs and stuff, they'll tell you, "Hey, you should go to Whiterun," and then he'll tell you, "Hey, you should go to this Bleak Falls Barrow, and then grab this stone, and then with the stone, I'll be able to figure out how dragons work." He never figures out how dragons work, and then you go and you start doing your first Thuum, which is also known as the voice. And you say Foos, and everybody goes, "Holy shit, he's the Dragonborn!" And then you fucking leave. I can't believe I'm doing like games done quick, like style narrative for this. And then you leave, and then well, first you get your house, Carl. Nobody cares what they do. They just kind of sit there and watch your house, which you don't own yet. Don't worry about it. It costs like $5,000 in game to own your first house. Don't worry about that. It's stupid. So anyway, you go do your dumb, stupid, fucking hokey bullshit, and then you leave. And then you go to your first actual like set quest bit, and then you go, "Oh, great! I gotta go talk to the Greybeards, who are like these old ass dudes they're Jedi." Okay, the fucking voice is the Force. Okay, it's the Force. That's how we're going to just describe it, so that way I can move on and not have to talk about it any further. If somebody goes, "Mike, shut up with all the Star Wars references," fucking bite me. So then you learn the Thuum, and it's really great. Yeah, here comes the Thuum. You can fucking you have like this really strong thing. You only need about 2 Thums to beat the entire game.
Really?
Fusroda and Whirlwind Sprint. You only need 2 of them.
Okay, then.
Yep, you only need 2 Thums to beat the entire game. Don't worry about it. So then you go do all that stuff, and then later on you're like, "Oh fuck, okay, where do I go from here?" And then you realize, "Oh well, now that I've learned all the stuff, what do I have to do? Oh, go find this horn that will pretty much show that you are Dragonborn. I can use Thums. That's something special. I was told that was very special. Don't worry about it. Okie dokie. So then you go find this horn. Turns out some stupid bitch in the first town that you go to goes, I stole the horn. Why? So that way you can prove that you're Dragonborn. Couldn't I just shout towards the heavens? Anybody can do that. Huh? Kill a dragon and steal its soul. Okay. And then you go,
why?
and then she goes, hey, you should talk about the blades, which by the way, the blades in Oblivion, badass. The blades in Skyrim, fucking joke because there's only 2 of them.
Huh.
Uh-huh. One of the things. Oh, we're going to get rid of the blades. That seemed like a really smart idea. Why? It's not. Why? Because they're dragon killers. Why would you get rid of a whole group of people that's whole goal is to kill dragons?
We want to make it more interesting. Give you a challenge.
We wanted to give you a bunch of horse shit to deal with. So anyway, you deal with Delphine. Delphine's the blade. You talk to her. She's a bitch. Don't worry about her. She's actually like such a super asshole. I don't know why people enjoy her. Then you leave that first town. You're all done. You're like, oh, fuck it. I'm never going to have to come back here again. You come back there 5 more times. Yeah, that first town. Yeah, Riverwood, you're constantly going back to. And I know people are going to say, well, that's how an RPG works. Final Fantasy VII would like to dictate that you're wrong. That's how open world RPGs work. That's not how all RPGs work. Fuck out of my face.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, you go do all the dumb horse shit. You steal more dragon souls. You learn some stupid ass abilities that you're never going to use. Trust me, you only need Whirlwind Sprint and Fusroda. That's the only 2 fucking Thumes you ever need to know. Unrelenting Force and Whirlwind Sprint are the only 2 Thumes in the entire game that are worth any time putting into. And then you're like, oh, cool. What do I have to do from here? Oh, go find this old guy who knows a lot about dragons and is a crazy-ass old man. Also, here's some passcode that only he would know that I would know. Oh, and he's out in the place where you're going to meet the Thieves Guild. Who's the Thieves Guild? Don't worry about the Thieves Guild. They just steal shit. They're just Robin Hood, but not really.
They steal from the rich and keep it.
No, they steal from everybody. They steal from everybody. Don't get the Thieves Guild wrong. They steal from everybody. In Oblivion, it was way cooler. Like, it was way fucking cooler. Like, you get to meet Grey Fox, who's like one of this cool character who uses the Cowl of Nocturnal, which is like really badass because what it does is make your character just like not exist in history ever again.
Yeah. Which
is like super badass. Whoever wears the Cowl of Nocturnal he becomes the Grey Fox, and it's this cool thing. Anyway, don't worry about that. So you deal with the Thieves Guild. They're like, oh, we're whatever. Yeah, he's the old guy's in this catacomb location. Uh-oh, the elves are looking for him, specifically high elves. By the way, high elves are assholes. If you play as a high elf, you're a cunt. Don't worry about it. You are. Oh, but they're really pretty. Yeah. No. They're self-entitled douchebags that don't realize that strength is in numbers, not retarded nonsense. So anyway, you go deal with all that dumb horse shit. You deal with all the crazy stuff. You meet the old man. He goes, hey, we should restart the blades. You're like, that sounds like a terrible idea. Maybe I should just consume more dragon souls. We're going to restart the blades. Okay, yeah, we're going to go to this place, and we're also going to need your blood, because only the blood of a dragonborn can reopen this ancient fucking blades tomb, which would kind of not work if all the blades were dead, so thank God that the dragonborn reappeared, whatever. You're the ultimate deus ex machina to every problem that this world has to face. So anyway, you deal with all the dumb shit, you deal with all the crazy bullshit, and then you make your way to your first Alduin somewhat fight. Also, you meet Parthenak's badass character. If you kill him, you're an asshole, because fuck the blades. Fuck the blades. They are useless because you exist. Oh, but we're dragon. Yeah, it really is kind of useless compared to the guy who literally can consume fucking souls of dragons, huh? But we hunt dragons. That's the equivalent of having a guy who kills wolves that's a werewolf. No shit, he's going to be really good at it. It's almost like he's one of them. So anyway, you go do all that crazy horse shit. You talk to Parthenax. Parthenax is really cool because he's like this really old dragon who's really badass and stuff. And then it turns out he's voiced by Super Mario, which is really weird as well. I'm not making that up.
Jesus.
He's voiced by Super Mario. Don't worry about that. That's not plot important. I just felt like really bringing that up. So Super Mario goes, it's me, Parthenax, and I'm gonna teach you some crazy tombs and shit. You want to learn fire spells and shit? Hey, you gotta go learn this move called Dragon Rend, which is the only other thing that's going to be useful because what it does is bring dragons back to the ground. How useful will that be? You will be using this pretty much the entire game. It is the only theme that honestly really does matter. I know I said the same thing about Whirlwind Sprint and Unrelenting Force because those are powers that you get for free. What I'm talking about is a power that you have to obtain. So you get Dragon Rend, yada, 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 Elder Scrolls. Don't worry what Elder Scrolls do. They do whatever the plot fucking demands. Am I going too fast for you, or do you understand what's going on a little bit?
Yeah, I'm getting it bits and pieces here and there.
Okay, that's good. That's because I don't want to have
ass backwards, but yeah.
It's not about ass backwards. Trust me, dude. Honestly, a game called Elder Scrolls, they are just the plot fucking Deus Ex Machina. They are just there, just to be there. That's all they do.
Oh yeah, I understand.
They are just there to say, hey, as soon as you get an Elder Scrolls, you'll get ancient knowledge that nobody else will ever know. Except for like maybe like this one guy. And maybe this other guy. Oh, and this vampire guy, which we'll talk about at another point. So anyway, you get the fucking Elder Scroll, you get the thing, you go back, you talk to Parthenax, he goes, okay, we're gonna practice this thing that I don't want you to know because I think it's a bullshit superpower, but hey, whatever. Superman exists somewhere in this universe.
Because there has to be.
Okay, well, I mean, you're pretty much Superman. You're a non-stopping killing machine that cannot be fucking withdrawn, and also decapitates the heads of his enemies because, hey, guess what? Somebody had to put points into that skill tree. So anyway, you deal with all the hokey dumb bullshit, and then all of a sudden, hey, you'll know this one thing, and then you have to go ride a dragon to go to the end of the game. And you go fight Dragon Priests. Don't ask what Dragon Priests do. Even I'm still confused of what they actually do, and I think Bethesda is as well. I wish I was making that up. I have no idea what Dragon Priests do. I have no fucking idea what their point is. They just kind of exist.
Nor do we want to know.
They just kind of exist and nobody cares, okay? They just kind of exist. They're just there. They have masks. Their masks that give you special ability. The only one that fucking matters gives you the immunity to poisons and all this other shit. Just makes you immune to everything and all diseases and poisons in game. So it's like it's the only one that fucking matters.
Yep.
So anyway, you go do that. You do all this horse shit and you go, Parthenax-chan, I learned a new move. And he goes, what'd you learn? I can ride dragons and shit. What you gotta go do? I gotta go kill Alduin. Okay, you go do that. Even though I don't think it's a good idea, go kill Alduin. You go kill Alduin. In heaven. I might have forgot about the heaven bit. That's kind of important.
Okay. Kind of weirded out that you don't get to talk about heaven, but hey, whatever. It's a game where you can do what you want.
No, you go to heaven. Don't worry about it. You go to heaven. It's only for Nords though, which is fucked up. Only the Nords get heaven.
All right, can't complain.
As Hitler once said, the Aryan race is the most powerful, and according to Bethesda, they agree.
Jesus.
Dude, I wish I was making it up. That it's literally heaven for just Nords.
Okay. Bethesda, someone's going to need to talk to you.
Yeah, somebody needs to talk to Bethesda about their racism. So anyway, you go fight Alduin with the 3 people that couldn't kill Alduin and said, hey, you know what's a really smart idea? Well, let's use an Elder Scroll to fucking put Alduin some point in time. They decided to put it at your time period. Also, it was random choice, so there probably is an alternate universe where he went back and killed the first humans, and who gives a shit?
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, you Dragonborn, you kill Alduin. And that's kind of it. Nobody cares, really. The world isn't like rejoiceful about the whole situation. It just kind of keeps going, and nobody really cares. Honestly, a lot of people are like, "What? What are you doing?" Oh, also, there's some stupid ass conflict between the Nords and the Imperials. Just sided with the Imperials because these dumbass Smurfs are just being fucking chuckle fucks that have no idea what they're talking about.
And yeah, I guess people like this game because
People like this game because there are vampires and there's only one character that everybody cares about that you cannot marry and everybody gets pissed off, and that's why there's like 14 mods of just trying to marry this one girl.
okay then, I can now see why.
Yeah, let's just say medium titty goth chick.
So that's where this
that's-
trend of big titty goth chick originates from.
I said medium-breasted goth chick, but hey, that works too. They're totally C-cups. Don't worry about it. So anyway, yeah, you go do that, and then you got to go fight vampires. I don't know why, but then you got to go fight vampires. Vampires are the next menace. Yeah, you already fought a fucking world-consuming dragon that consumes the souls of men and the undead and resurrects the undead as well. Yeah, next we're going to deal with this fucking dragon. Next we're going to deal with this vampires.
Because why the hell not?
Yada, yada, yada. You get another Elder Scroll. Oh, which, by the way, you get 3 fucking Elder Scrolls in this one game.
Strange.
I thought you were going to get 5. I'm going to be 100% honest. I thought this game was going to be like, there are 5. You are going to obtain 5 Elder Scrolls because it is Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim, and go fuck yourself. So anyway, yeah. You get Elder Scrolls. There's literally just Dracula, who gets his powers from the devil. Literally just the devil. Don't worry about all the crazy nonsense of the Daedric princes and all that crazy bullshit. It's just the devil. Also, the daughter might have been raped by the giant demon thing to become a vampire. We're not going to talk about that. It's a little awkward. I like to forget it. Let's just say you have to have sex with the devil. And he's a masochist. And a sadomasochist.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little awkward. It's something. Bethesda definitely made something.
Yeah, it's something, and I guess this is the reason why people want it again for some ungodly reason.
50 billionth time. So yeah, you go fight vampires. Guess what's after vampires?
Lizards.
No, I have the answer for you, you silly dumb bitch. The answer
What's the answer?
The answer to that is you go and build a house.
Oh, great.
Yeah, it's called the Hearthfire DLC, and what you just do is you build a house. In a game that already has 5 houses, and one of the prettiest houses, and the most expensive house, by the way, is in Solitude, which is one of the most beautiful cities in the entire game because, hey, stone structures are pretty badass because it's a castle. Fuck you, it is literally a giant castle. In a game universe that is fantasy, that has one of them in this game. There are only 2 castles in this actual fucking game. And one of them is a castle for vampires. And guess what you have to deal with after you're building your house and having your family and collecting the orphan kids, because that's what the Dragonborn, I guess, does. When he's bored, he's just collecting little orphan Annies.
Let me guess, he's dodging tax collectors.
No, even stupider. He has to go fight a previous Dragonborn who was resurrected by Mirak. The way I can describe Mirak is that one OCD kid who really likes books. I know somebody's going to say, I hope somebody sits there and go, oh my god, I've never thought about it like that. Yeah, he's just some fucking crazy eldritch horror god that really likes books.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, so... Yeah, he fucking really likes books. I mean, he fucking really likes books. So anyway, you go deal with the Eldritch Horror God and the previous Dragonborn, and it turns out, hey, fuck you.
Huh.
It turns out, yeah, He was just using everybody so he can gain power that he already kind of has, sort of. It's really fucking stupid. Nobody cares. Whatever. Yeah, you go fight. You go fight the previous Dragonborn and you beat his ass because he's a little pussy bitch. You learn the only actual useful fucking ability in the game called Dragon Aspire. That is the only useful shout in the entire game because it literally just makes you. It's literally Super Saiyan. Okay, I'm gonna just describe it as Super Saiyan. We're gonna leave it at that. It's literally it's literally a Super Saiyan power up that makes you fucking stupidly stronger than what you already are. You just get buffed. That's what happens. It just goes, hey, how much damage are you doing with that weapon? Like 53 damage. Not doing all of it. What? You're doing all the damage. Yeah, that's it. I mean, you get to meet Shiro Gorath, which is cool, and he gives you the Wabbajack, which is just. You ever wanted to have an item that does random effects?
Sometimes, but not
So
all the time.
I'll give an example of that. A really good example of that, and then we'll end the podcast at like a funny spot where I can end it properly. And then James could edit this and go, "Wow, Mike knows a lot about Skyrim." And then I'll sit there and say, "Well, when your girlfriend fucking plays it 800 billion times a week, yeah, you kind of are expected to know a lot about Skyrim."
Yeah.
So anyway, what I mean by random stat effect is it can turn somebody into a chicken or summon fireballs as big as the sun.
Okay.
It could give mass paralysis or turn somebody into a sweet roll.
I'm beginning to see a pattern in this.
Let's just say it just does random shit. Each time you use it, something weird will happen. Because the Wabbajack was created by Shiro Gorath, who is the Daedric god of mischief, or as I like to call him, Loki with an even better suit.
Mm-hmm.
He's the Daedric god of mischief. Nobody is shocked about that. He's also the Daedric god of order, which is even weirder.
Strange.
The reason why that happened, and I'll make it really quick so that way we can just cut this fucking topic and I can be done talking about the Elder Scrolls for a while. He was originally the Daedric god of order, and then what happened was somebody's like played a fuck on him and turned him into the Daedric god of madness. And every somewhat amount of time, this amount of time, I guess, between 100 or 200 years or whatever, maybe it's every 1,000 years or whatever. It's called the Grey March, where like a single day, the previous version of him appears and tries to bring order to a chaos-ridden realm, where you meet such incredible people as in, and I cannot believe I'm going to repeat most of these lines. I cannot sleep indoors, for I feel that the walls are going to cave in on me. But I cannot sleep outside because I feel like the ground will crumble around me. Well, why don't you go sleep in your friend's house? That sounds like a great idea. Let me do that instead. Because my house is scary. The fuck? Or a dude that's addicted to sweet rolls. Like, he will not give you any information unless you give him a sweet roll.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just.
Listen, dude, when you become... Okay. So you ever wonder what happens to the hero in Oblivion?
No, what happens?
He becomes Shiro Gorath. Yeah. Because Shiro Gorath's body was destroyed because of the whole Grey March thing. He decides and said, you know who would be a perfect host? You.
This guy.
This guy. So I'm going to turn him into an immortal fucking being that's pretty much the Riddler from Batman Forever. As a character. That's the best way I can describe that, and I hate that I have to describe it as such.
Okay then.
Yeah, it's literally that. I wish I could make that up, but that's what it literally is.
Mm-hmm.
Just imagine Jim Carrey's Riddler as a Daedric prince. But give him the powers of the mask.
Oh god, that's a recipe for disaster there.
Yeah, that's pretty much sheer Gorath. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry that I've been talking your ear off nonstop, but hey, at least you know the plot of Skyrim. It's pretty much go kill thing or go fetch shit for me. Yeah, that's
the game Bethesda wants to continue milking for other console games. I just wish there was another alternative
on the
doing.
PS5. See you fuckers on the PS5 when it's the remaster of Skyrim. The special.
Return the money to me.
Give me your fucking money. So, you know what? I'll end it with this. If you want a really good game that's made by Bethesda, I have a small list ready to go. Oblivion, Morrowind, Doom Eternal, any of the Wolfenstein games. I mean, seriously, any of the Wolfenstein games.
Fair.
And if you're just sitting at home and you're like, but I want a crazy fantasy game that allows me to try to have a realistic sense of how the world works, just fucking play The Wolves Among Us then. It's a better fantasy game. There's more shit going on. It has a very good plot. If you haven't played it yet, fucking play it. It's very good. I would honestly say, if Telltale doesn't make the sequel, I will straight up appear at their house with Wolverine claws, and I will threaten them at knife point if I don't get that game. No, I'm kidding.
It is such a wonderful game. I'm actually replaying that game right now on the PC. It's a lot of fun. And same as Mike, I cannot wait for the sequel if they ever release it.
Well, I know that they have the voice lines done, which honestly is the first thing you should do if you're making one of these goddamn games. Mm-hmm. Oh, and if you've ever wondered what some of the NPCs in Skyrim sound like, I'm going to give you a sample.
Oh boy.
Just a sample. It can range from, this is how the Nords sound, to literal Arnold Schwarzenegger going, "Oh, have you missed your sweet roll? What? Oh, I heard that they were restarting the Dawn Guard.
Wow.
I was once an adventurer like you until I took an arrow to the knee."
Okay, Arnold. Don't know why you exist, but hey, you're there.
Hey, dude, listen, you're going to meet some crazy... If you ever play Skyrim, you're going to see some crazy fucking shit that you're not going to expect. Including the bunny kill counter.
Because that exists now?
No, I'm being dead serious. There was a thing that shows you all your stats in the game, and one of them is how many rabbits you killed over the course of the game. It will legitimately count how many times you have killed rabbits.
Just rabbits?
Yeah, literally just rabbits. Nothing else, just rabbits.
Weird.
Yeah, agreed. I'm like, why the fuck is there a bunny kill counter, and how come nobody else is bringing this up of how weird it is? How come nobody else is talking about the crazy bunny kill counter, which doesn't make any sense, and it's super weird. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry to talk your ear off for as long as I have, so I'll give my final thoughts. It's okay.
Yeah.
If you want a game that you can pump about hundreds of hours into and pretty much see most of the world, because it's one map, then yeah, play Skyrim. I mean, Lillian has been playing it for almost 2 years. Yeah. I want you to think about that. She's been playing Skyrim for almost 2 years.
Normally, I just kind of give up within a couple months. And if I'm not done, I'm like, all right, I'm just done.
Now she plays it, listens to music, does her own thing, creates her own adventure, shit like that. She mods what she wants to mod in. She plays as the races that she wants to play. Which, by the way, if you happen to play Skyrim and you're a big fan of it, in the comments section, tell me what race you like to play as the most. And, maybe we start a discussion down in the comments section of what you really enjoy. My name is Michael X, and I'm here with the Lionheart himself, Mike Nikos, and we want to thank you for coming onto the podcast tonight and enjoying pretty much about almost a 10-minute fucking ramble from yours truly, talking about a bunch of horse shit that nobody really goddamn cares about.
But we feel like it was important to bring about since,
Hey.
next-gen consoles are coming out.
Yeah, but, listen, here's what's going to happen, all right? I'm going to make a prediction for the future. Bethesda is going to release Skyrim again on the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. They're going to have more modding ability to it. And they're going to, like they did with this game, which, by the way, still pisses me off now that I'm thinking about it. So, you know all those modders that would work their asses off to make mods?
Yeah.
Well, Bethesda started to put this thing in called the Creation Club.
Oh.
Guess what that is?
I guess you just create your own type of story or character or something.
No, it's their own bread of DLC, which is stolen, which is all stolen stuff that was already created by fucking modders.
Great.
Uh-huh. Oh, and if somebody goes, oh, Bethesda doesn't do quirky, goofy stuff. Really, so if I play Fallout 4 again, right? If I choose to play Fallout 4 again, which I have sworn that game off like a sin. Besides the one time I played it at Casey's house, just to see what they added for the mod scene, because that was the only thing I was curious about, because the story is fucking terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Here's to describe that story. Give me back my son. Where is my son? Give me back my son. Your son's 60 years old and you've been cryogenically frozen for 240 years. Sorry, 260 years. Wait, what? Yeah. Wait, what? Yeah. Give me back my son.
I don't care how old he is. Just give him back.
I don't care. Give me back my son. Yeah, that's that whole game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, what was I talking? Yeah. So one of the fucking things that's on the Creation Club in Fallout 4, which I think you're gonna really enjoy, is a suit of power armor and a sword that is from Skyrim, and so is power armor. Here's the problem with that.
What?
Skyrim doesn't exist in the Fallout 4 universe. In the Fallout universe to begin with.
Curious.
So, question, my good sir.
Shoot.
How in the fuck did they do that?
Magic.
Yeah, the answer is money.
Close enough.
Oh yeah, by the way, you have to pay for the Creation Club stuff.
Oh.
You have to pay. So it could be like, you know what I really want my character to have, because it would make the most fucking sense to have in its arsenal? A backpack to carry all of his shit. Oh, you want a backpack, I hear. That'll be $3. But I could just download it via mods. No, you can't. What,
$3.
$3 now. What? But I just... Well, I want to buy enchanted arrows. $3. What?
Maybe now.
But, okay, well, I want to grab the Knights of the Nine armor because I think it's really badass. Okay. $5. But there was a mod that we took it down. What? Because we wanted to make we wanted to make money. Fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
But I just really want to... We're Bethesda. Give us your fucking money.
Yeah. Just simple as that.
It's pretty much just Todd Howard going, we're going to make video games, and here's how we're going to make them, by taking your fucking money. And I reply with, Todd, yeah? You're scaring the children. You're scaring the children, Todd. They don't want to come over anymore, Todd, because you're a fucking psychopath. We're going to have 16 times the cash we would have made in Skyrim.
Oh, God.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for joining us tonight. We really hope that you have enjoyed this podcast. If you have, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to James's channel. It would really help out. It will help the YouTube analytics to stop being assholes and finally push content creators that are working their asses off. Let's be honest, we're not working our asses off at all.
We're really not.
No, not at all. We're not really doing too much. I'm just kind of sitting here talking to some douchebag on the phone that I don't even like to begin with. Oh, God, can you imagine if that was the narrative? Can you imagine if that was the fucking narrative we were pushing? I don't even like him. I just want to talk to him.
Fuck you, dude.
Fuck you. Get out of my house. I don't care if you're Greek. Your nose is too big. And I think your teeth are too crooked. You motherfucker. I'll kill you.
Damn. I'll commit life and...
Oh, yeah? Well, I'm going to commit deathant. That's the opposite of a lifeant because it's the word life and then shut the fuck up now. But yeah,
Yep, we're just basically giving our reaction to Bethesda Skyrim for the next gen.
Oh, why does his helmet look so awkward? Why does he have jowls? All right, boys and girls, thank you for joining. We hope that you have a very good night. If you're listening to this and you're going into work or you're driving your way in, please be safe on the roads. We understand that things are going on right now, but we hope that you have enjoyed Open Mic Night. We'll see you folks another time.
Good night. God bless. And let the smooth jazz mellow out to the new day that waits for you. Take care, everyone.